Hi, a year ago I started making my online game. I hadn't finished it yet, but I can show you what I do until now. All the scripts, models, animations and map I do on my own. I use Visual Studio, Blender and ProBuilder for them. The game works on Unity and a netcode was written with Mirror plugin. I made this for people who like fast skill esports FPS games. So in this game it's quick time to kill, you can run on the walls and buy items for your build. I had two main ideas for this project: very good movement and gunplay, and the equipment system that really affect the style of play. Now I will show you what is it about, and later I will describe how I did it. Movement consists of the running, jumping, sliding, running off the walls and using gadgets. I designed the map so that it looks like open and you can move everywhere, but it's divided into several closed spaces. If we had closed spaces, we can know where the entries is and we can know where the enemy should be. I did it so that you can predict the movements of opponents and you can play tactically. In the air, moving on the walls and sliding, our hands change position to slanted. It increases the immersion of dynamic movement. The aiming animation is also slanted. While we shooting and aiming in the air, accuracy is the same like staying on the ground. This mechanics boost moving in the air. Equipment is the things that is supposed to distinguish my game the most. At the beginning of each round, in the store we can buy weapons, shoes, bulletproof and gadgets. All weapons have stats that change movement and speed of removal, speed of aiming, accuracy, speed of shooting, recoil and damage. We can modify them by buying upgrades to weapons like scopes, magazines, suppressors. The upgrades don't change only stats, we can see the different model of scope, magazine, suppressor on gun. The scope gives us a better field of view when aiming, but its weight affects the recoil and aiming speed. The shooting system is divided into two parts. Normal, we shoot less accuracy and the bullets have a random spread, but when we aiming and shooting, our camera moves up and the sides, but the weapon is always in the center and we can control the recoil. If we don't move the mouse, the camera goes back to its origin position. Shoes affect the speed of movement, height of jump and other special skills such as jumping in the air. Of course, in the future I will add a skin and case system that maybe appeal to the huge shoes community. The bulletproof vest is divided into three parts. Its weight influences movement, so if you want to play fast ninja, you will have to give up full armor. Gadgets are unique abilities that have the most impact on your playstyle. So far I have added two: force field that block bullets and camouflage like invisibility. But in the future I plan to add robot willow, grappling hook and others. The gadget can be used one per round at any time. The character chooses for the gadget with his left hand, take it out and launches. We can still use the weapon at the same time, but we will shoot less accuracy. Now I'm going to tell a little bit about how I did all this and how it works. When we enter the server, a new scene is loaded. We spawn it on the server as a prefab network player, and we get information about everyone on the server and the match. We have the options to choose a blue or red team. After selecting the team, a new player object is spawned, which becomes the default player object. It has a network transform component, which synchronizes our position on the server. The player component, which stores basic stats and references to the other components needed. Player movement component is responsible for the whole movement system and uses the character controller for them. Component player inventory stores information about items and takes care of placing them in hands. Player skin is the part of the skin system that works, but I haven't made any clothes models yet, so it's empty. Team color elements change the color of our clothing items to the team color. Camera smooth moving sliding component is responsible for the smooth transition between normal and sliding camera position. Both hands in first-person perspective are two separate objects, so the left hand can pull out the gadget or throw a grenade at any time. Camera and weapon animation when we shooting are generated with scripts, so we can modify strength, movement and speed of this animation. Reload animation is also scripted, so it fits to any mag. I divided reloading time into several parts and created movement using vector-free lerps. The animation fits to pistol and rifles and every different mag. When we want to use a gadget, first the left hand move out of the field of view, then change its parent and process, and then start animation. The gadget is used by holding down F button, and at any time you can pull it back and reverse the animation. If our speed exceeds the normal speed of movement and we press the control, we will perform a slide. While sliding, we can look sideways and always we move forward. When we in the air or sliding, the position of our weapons change to slanted. I did this by changing the rotation and position of special objects in the arms object using a code. Each weapon has a normal position, aiming position, slant position, and slant aiming position assigned to it. Each scope changes the aiming volume, so the weapon is always in the center, and we can add infinity different scopes that will fit and work with any weapons. If you grab a wall in flight, you can run over it and then let it go or jump off. You can also jump between two walls. All animations and models in this project I made myself in Blender. I made the map using ProBuilder and Blender. It's a test map for now, but I wanted it to look a little bit good, so I added some free textures, some I made all myself in Mixamo. I made light mapping and added global volume from HDRP. I bought the sound effects, and the server is hosted on Google Cloud Platform. From the very beginning I make this game alone because I want to present all my skills.